We're trying our best to say things and do things which we get validated by those that we respect or by those that we want attention from. Rather than this honest acting, the reason that people come to my talks and the reason that people are attracted to me, not because of what I say or because of the words particularly, but because there's an innocence in which they're spoken with. I don't care, I don't give a rat's ass if you guys like me or not. There's not this agenda. I'm not coming on here in order to be appreciated. If I was, I would be doing something completely different. Non-duality is not that popular. It just is happening. There's just speaking coming out. There's not an agenda to teach you something or to help you. It just is happening. It's just coming freely. And that's the true nature of everything. That is the creative force. The reason the humans suffer is because it goes through this middleman that feels separate, that feels alone, and is trying to complete that separation by putting things into itself. But you can feel it when people call in, when they're being ungenuine, and what you can feel it as a no. So when I'm speaking, you feel attracted to the talk, and then when the questioner calls in, you want to reject them and you want to stop them talking. And the reason is because they're not speaking naturally. They have an agenda. They're trying to get something out. They're trying to be something. People come onto the talks, they want to come across as liberated, or they want to come across as smaller than me, or they want to come across as weak. They're not even aware of this. Or they want to come across as happy or funny or juvenile or whatever it is. But you never want that exposed, because the game is to keep it undercover. You've got to get love. You've not got to be exposed to someone trying to get love. You've not got to be exposed for what the actual game is. This brings rage and hatred to the ego when its game is exposed. And shame. The game is to do it, is to manipulate the other into loving you. But you don't need to do that. Your freedom is your nature. It's not something you get. If your freedom is based upon what others think about you and what others feel about you, then you're always going to be caged, because their thoughts and their feelings towards you is always going to change. You make yourself so weak by always trying to get the love and affection of others. I'm not saying you're bad, or anyone's bad or wrong for doing this game. This is the human nature, and this is why you suffer. Why anyone suffers. Because they're living in this tight world that's always trying to manipulate love. It's always trying to spin a better story in order to make itself feel better about its existence. But the freedom is the presence, is the knowing of everything. It is that innocence. Freedom is the birthright. It's there, covered underneath this separate seeker that's always trying to find love out there. And there's this attraction to when I'm speaking. Not all the time, because what can also come up is jealousy and anger towards me. But often I think there is an attraction towards somebody that's speaking non-duality, speaking from not a position, from not a place. Like their words are like honey. That innocence is like honey, like when you look at a baby or when you look at the dog. Like, where am I going to go with these talks? What am I doing with them? There is nothing I can get by saying all these words. Maybe you think I can get appreciation for being a non-dual teacher. It's really not like that. What happens when you're a non-dual speaker is you're confronted often with people that are suffering, asking you for help. It's not like it's fun and parties. It is actually, because it's the most beautiful, insanely beautiful subject to talk about, and I love it. But I love it because of when that person collapses and it's recognized, but also I love that innocence of just speaking. It's like creating art. I just sit here and ba 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 ba. It's the same when I write films or when I'm being creative. that creative force that comes out. It's actually the same as all of life, when you're cooking, when you're doing anything, but I get to express that as a job. So I love that part, but I get no joy from people congratulating me. I get joy from seeing someone or looking into someone's eyes and them disappearing, and I can see that innocence, or speaking with someone and beginning to see the innocence coming through, or sometimes when I'm talking, I'm looking at the audience and you can just see it happening, like people are beginning to forget themselves. And that you can see, and they don't even realize, and they're sitting on the edge of their seat. Or when I'm just speaking with someone, I can see that collapse happen. That's the joy. Not when somebody's saying to me how fantastic you are. Normally when they're telling you how fantastic you are, it's because they want you to love them. Not all the time though. And I'm not opposed to that. I mean, it's better than boof. But a lot of the time it is. People come up to tell me at talks how fantastic I am in order just to get my attention. And they think I don't know. And I am a good actress because I sometimes do not confront these things because it's too much. You do not need anyone's appreciation or validation. Everything you are is divine, is the divine, is the goddess, everything. There's not one part of you that isn't, and you never need to sell your soul to anyone in order to get that. Ever. That's what society's always told you. Society has always said to everybody, you are not good enough as you are, you need to work, you need to buy all these ridiculous things in order to be appreciated. I was walking around the shops with my mum yesterday, and I really enjoy it. I love my mum's company. She's so funny, and she's got such a good sense of humour. Today, we were out walking, and I was thinking about it again with my eyes shut. She's so quick. She said, I was telling her about how this person's into positive thinking, and she knows this person, and I was explaining to her about, you know, how they envision getting things and achieving things, and that helps them succeed and do well. And this person we were talking about had a flood in their house of sewage. So their house got flooded by sewage. They went on holiday, and then their toilets brought back up all the neighbourhood sewage. So their whole house was just trashed with sewage. And my mum's response after I was telling her about that they're into this positive thinking, and she replied, well, what were they thinking then when they got sewage all over their house? What are they envisioning? It doesn't sound so funny when I repeat it, but it was, me and my dad were crying with laughter. But anyway, I went shopping with my mum. I'm walking around the stores with her, and I mean, I shop, and I appreciate glittery things, and I appreciate beautiful things. My mum bought me this. But I'm looking at all the crap in the shops, and I'm like, what the hell are we doing as humanity? We're freaking crazy. Like, all these things. I mean, how many different shoes do we need to produce? How many different clothes do we need to produce as a society? How much do people need to have in order to feel valid? And that's what we're always teaching as a society, and it's so sad. You are not valid unless you have a car which is worth $1 million. Well, maybe not $1 million, but worth like £50,000. You're not valid unless you have the latest sunglasses or the latest bags. I mean, we're just insane as humanity. And this is what we teach our kids. This is what we're bringing our kids into. Is you always have to have these things in order to be loved. You have to work. You have to be a slave to society, working 10, 12, 17 hours a day, however many hours it is, in order to produce this fake money that we've all made up. And some people get more money than others because some people's jobs are more valuable than other people's jobs. They get more money, and you get to show society how valued you are by the clothes you make, by the designer, by the clothes you buy, by the designer, by how beautiful your house is. We're insane. And we walk around these shops, and we all know that the reason that we, as Westerners, can have so much on offer at such a low price is because we enslave other societies. We We use the weak and the vulnerable in our society, in this world, the people that are desperate, and we use them in order to produce us cheap goods. And this is how we value people. We value those at the top. We value those with the colour of their skin, with the way. And the reason that we value people with colour of skin is so crazy. Like, yeah. Because we associate white with being richer and producing more money. Our whole value is on money. And we value ourselves on producing kids so we can carry on this workforce, this crazy workforce. So getting married, producing kids is a valuable thing. Eh, Khaleesi? And then we live in this mentality, constantly seeking. Even enlightenment becomes a new thing to validate yourself by. If I'm enlightened, okay, I can be poor, I can not be a mother, I can be all these things, but if I'm enlightened, I'm valued then. If I'm into spirituality, I'm valued. And this becomes a new valuing system of how enlightened you are, or how free you appear. But you don't need anything to value you. Your nature, Khaleesi, is freedom. You are the goddess just because you're born. That's your birthright. Isn't it? Isn't it? Look at her. Oh, look at this girl. Oh yeah, look at you. You're the goddess just because you're born. Everybody. No matter how thin, how fat, the colour of your skin, the amount of money you've got in your bank, the amount of spots you have, or makeup or no makeup, or your sexuality, your gender. No matter what you are, you're valuable because you are that life force. You are an expression of God looking at itself. Everything is that awakeness. There's nothing that's not God. Nothing. And nobody has to ever sell themselves in order to be appreciated by me. I appreciate you just because you are. Just because you are. Look, Khaleesi's just licking her butt. Now, even in licking your butt, I love you, Khaleesi. Just because you are. Yes. Look at you. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Look. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I hope my mum doesn't watch this stream because she's going to see that Khaleesi's on her sofa. Look, look, look. You lick your bum, you lick my hand, and all of it's God. All of it. There's no outside of God. There's no outside of the divine. Yeah! Khaleesi's quite happy to say she's the divine. Aren't you? Yeah? You have another lick in there. Go on. You do your business. Okay. Look at her innocence. Just an expression of watching. Just an awakeness that doesn't think I'm Khaleesi and I gotta behave a certain way for the TV. She just is. She just is. She just is. What are you doing? Oh, this is what you want. Ah, that's what she wanted. Nah, don't bite it. It's not going to be good if you bite it. Not going to be good. Not going to be good. Not going to be good if you bite it. Oh yes. So the fact that's happening is that love that you seek. The awakeness is the love that you've always been looking for. And it's not separate from all things that are appearing. It is all things. It's there. You could like envision it as it's there, touching everything, supporting everything, but using these bodies to look out at itself. So everything these bodies look at is interpreted through the sensory system of these bodies. So you could say that everything you see and feel and touch and hear is the external sense in a way, because there's no difference between that which is sensed and the sensing. They need each other in order to appear. There needs to be a sofa to feel touch, and there needs to be a sofa to touch in order to know touch. Kind of one and the same thing. Like there's no outside of the brain. There's nothing separate from the brain's interpretation. But that which looks through the brain at this world is this presence, is God. And it's looking at everything. And that looking never ends. So you could say the sofa is looking, the world is looking, everything is looking. This is the love that you've longed for. And it's not something I can give you, but you come and you listen to me because it helps you remember. Even though it's not you remembering, it's like a waking up that happens. A waking up of that which is veiled by the you. I got to bite it. Just like Khaleesi, actually. I am a dog. I am a dog. Dog. Oh my god. She just kills me with cuteness. Look. 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 She's so gentle, so she knows she's not really allowed to bite it. I wonder if she knows that she's not allowed to bite it. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted.